So I wrote something today. I wrote a humor piece about Black Friday and I posted it on my blog, and I will put a link to that in the description for any of the three of you who watch this who are interested in reading it. But as I was writing the piece, something occurred to me, and it is that writing doesn't come as easy to me as it once did. I used to write all the time. I That's what I thought I would be doing with my life. I thought that I would be a comedy writer. And growing up, like by the time I hit high school, I was writing on everything, everywhere. I think some of the best things I ever wrote are probably on napkins and on the insides of paper bags. And I had this ability to just sit down in front of a blank piece of paper or a word processor and just start writing for hours. And I have lost that. It is I guess I'm learning that writing is like it's like anything else. It's like athletics or music or anything where you have to exercise the muscles required to do it, or else you kind of lose your skill. Um, for me, the moment that I stopped writing probably dates back to about 2010. I was I had just become the editor of Break.com, and I put just everything into working on that site. I would wake up in the morning and think about the site. I would go to work and I'd spend 8 hours at work working on the site. I would come home and I would look for still look for videos for this site, or I would still like be try to think of ways to make the site better for the millions of users who came to the site each month. And I don't regret any of the time that I spent doing that, because I think that the millions of people enjoyed the fruits of that labor. But I do kind of regret the fact that 3 or 4 years have passed since I've really done much writing of my own. You know, I think that for me, like writing is just a part, or was a part of who I am, and I think I can date the beginning of my career as a writer all the way back to first grade. I remember we had this assignment where we were supposed to write a story, and then our teacher and the PTA would put them in like these specially bound, I don't know, I think it was like paperboard or something, but they'd create these little books for everyone, and I just went so much further than anyone else in class. I basically wrote a memoir at 7 years old. This book was filled with stories that at the time I thought were amazing, but in retrospect, if I were a teacher or principal, I probably would be terrified by what I'd read. Um, I think that the book was titled, I think it was like stories of things that have happened to me or something like that, and it was filled with these tales of like I remember my mom told me this story about when I was a baby. I had toddled under this glass coffee table and it had shattered and broken to bits around me, and I emerged unscathed. And there was this time at this bus stop when my mom decided to tease my sister and I with a live moth, and I, being afraid of moths, I threw my lunchbox across the street and just darted, headed for home. And as I ran into the street, there were oncoming cars, and they both veered to avoid me and ended up in their respective ditches. I guess I was lucky, and those cars were not so lucky. But I there were so many stories in this book, and that was probably the first time that I'd ever sat down and written anything that was like, of an extended nature. And off and on for the next couple of years, I continued to write, and I sort of really became a hardcore writer probably in high school. And all the way through college and after, I just continued to write. I self-published a book. I wrote a script based on a short story that a friend turned into a short film. I just didn't stop until 2010. So it looks like we're getting near the 5-minute mark. So just to bring this back to around to where we started, I guess I would just want to leave you with this message, which is, if there's something that you enjoy doing, keep doing it, because you don't want to stop doing it and then discover that it's difficult for you to start doing it again. That's it. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.